Dr. Adana Akwu was fighting to save a child's life when FBI agents stormed her Lagos emergency room. "You're under arrest for medical equipment fraud involving $800 million, they announced. But it wasn't the handcuffs that shattered her world, it was the document they handed her. A marriage contract with her own signature, but underneath her name was a clause she'd never seen. Party B agrees to assume full legal liability for Party A's business activities." Her Korean billionaire husband hadn't just used her medical license to commit international crimes, he'd made her legally responsible for every single one. But what she discovered next would destroy him completely. If you think this betrayal was bad, wait until you see what she does next. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the moment she flips the script. 8 months earlier, Seoul's International Medical Innovation Summit buzzed with the world's healthcare elite as Dr. Adana Akwu commanded the main stage. At 32, she was already Lagos General Hospital's most celebrated emergency physician, known for performing medical miracles with equipment that belonged in museums. Ladies and gentlemen, her voice carried across the auditorium with commanding authority. "While you debate robotic surgery systems, I'm saving 20 lives weekly with machines held together by determination and prayer." In the front row, a man in an expensive charcoal suit took notes with unusual intensity, his eyes never leaving her face. "Africa doesn't need medical charity," Adana continued, clicking through images of Lagos General's organized chaos. "We need partnerships that recognize our innovation born from necessity." As thunderous applause erupted, the note-taker approached with practiced confidence. "Dr. Akwu, I'm Park Min-jun, CEO of Med Global Solutions. Your presentation on equipment adaptation was brilliant. We need someone like you." She had no idea the charming CEO's chance meeting was actually part of a 3-year plan to recruit her. "Most Korean companies see Africa as a charity case," Adana replied, studying his face with diagnostic precision. "I see partnership. Especially with someone as exceptional as you." When he attempted broken Yoruba, badly mispronouncing Ogbani, she laughed and responded in fluent Korean. "Your pronunciation needs serious work, but your sincerity seems genuine." His eyes widened with calculated amazement. "Where did you learn Korean?" "Medical exchange program during residency." Korean medical innovation could revolutionize African healthcare. And African medical expertise could teach us resilience we've never imagined. But in Min-jun's Seoul office, a wall chart displayed photos of 12 African doctors, all women, all brilliant, all marked complete, except one photo marked target acquired, Dr. OKWU. Over the following months, their relationship evolved with surgical precision. Video calls during her Lagos night shifts, where she explained emergency medicine challenges while he listened with rapt attention. Monthly flights to Lagos, where he observed her work with admiration that felt authentic. "You perform miracles with museum equipment," he said after watching her save 3 car accident victims using improvised techniques that would astonish Western physicians. "Give me proper equipment, and I could train doctors across Africa to save twice as many lives. Then let's do exactly that." The proposal came beside Seoul's Han River, city lights reflecting like scattered diamonds across the water. When Min-jun dropped to one knee with a ring that caught moonlight like captured fire, Adana felt destiny calling. "Marry me, Adana. Together we can revolutionize African healthcare." Her mother's warning echoed in her memory, "Rich men's promises dissolve like sugar in rain, my daughter." "This isn't just love, Mama," she had replied with conviction that would haunt her. "This is destiny." The Seoul wedding blended Nigerian drummers with Korean ceremonial music, traditional Kent cloth with hanbok elegance. Media called her the African medical princess, and for one perfect day, she felt like royalty. Adana thought she was the luckiest woman alive. She had no idea she was signing documents that would make her the legal scapegoat for the largest medical fraud in international history. But their medical partnership was actually a carefully orchestrated criminal conspiracy. Seoul felt like living inside a medical journal cover, pristine, efficient, impossibly advanced. Their Gangnam penthouse overlooked Korea's premier medical district, where the world's finest hospitals gleamed like monuments to modern healthcare. Adana's new role as chief medical advisor for MedGlobal's African expansion felt like fulfilling her destiny. Your expertise gives us credibility we could never achieve alone, Min Jun explained during her first board meeting, where Korean executives hung on every word about African medical infrastructure needs. The work intoxicated her, reviewing contracts for medical equipment destined for Nigerian hospitals, approving specifications that would save thousands of lives, legitimizing deals worth hundreds of millions. Her medical knowledge bridged the gap between Korean innovation and African necessity. These cardiac monitors will revolutionize emergency care across Lagos, she told Min Jun after approving a $50 million equipment package. When I think about the lives we'll save. Korean Medical Board requires physician certification for international transfers, he explained, placing documents before her. Only qualified doctors can legally certify medical equipment safety standards. Page after page of technical specifications, quality certifications, financial guarantees. Equipment for emergency rooms, surgical theaters, intensive care units across Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Ethiopia. These specifications exceed international standards, Adana said, reviewing with thoroughness that made her Lagos General's most trusted physician. Lives will be saved. That night, Adana didn't just cry, she became a detective. Using her photographic memory, she began documenting every conversation, every document, every suspicious phone call. But during Min Jun's Singapore business trip, devastating news shattered her confidence. Lagos General's chief administrator called with urgent concern. Dr. Akwu, patients are dying. The cardiac monitors you certified are failing during critical procedures. We've lost 5 patients this week alone. Her blood turned to ice. That's impossible. I personally reviewed those specifications. The equipment appears functional but fails under pressure. Your medical certification is on every device. That night, she examined MedGlobal's corporate files with diagnostic precision. What she discovered made her question everything she thought she knew about their medical mission. Purchase orders showing equipment costs inflated 300% above market value. Manufacturing reports revealing substandard materials disguised by superficial quality modifications. Her medical certifications attached to devices that met baseline requirements but failed during critical emergencies. When Min Jun returned from Singapore, she confronted him with evidence spread across their coffee table like medical charts for terminal diagnosis. These devices are killing people, she said, her voice carrying authority that made medical students tremble. You gave me false specifications. Fear flashed across his face before the mask returned. You don't understand international medical trade complexities. I understand patients dying because of equipment I certified. Sometimes legitimate business needs legal protection from government misunderstanding. You want me as your criminal accomplice. I want you to trust me like I trusted you with my family's secrets. For one moment, Min Jun seemed genuinely remorseful. He agreed to quality audits, promised transparency, begged forgiveness. Adana actually believed their marriage could survive this betrayal. She had no idea he was already moving money to untraceable Swiss accounts. But while she slept peacefully that night, Min Jun was making a phone call that would destroy her life. At 2 a.m., Adana woke to Min Jun speaking rapid Korean in their study. Understanding every word due to her medical exchange training, what she heard turned her blood to ice. Phase 3 complete, mother. The Nigerian doctor has signed everything, Min Jun reported with clinical detachment. Excellent, his mother's voice crackled through the speaker. How many other African doctors are in pipeline? 5 identified. The Ethiopian surgeon looks promising. Her cardiovascular expertise could legitimize our East African expansion. Perfect. Activate termination protocol for the Nigerian. Prepare evidence transfer. But the phone call revealed something even more horrifying. This wasn't just about money, it was about systematically exploiting African medical professionals across the continent. Adana lay frozen, realizing she wasn't his wife. She was target number 13 in an international medical exploitation ring. The next morning, she didn't confront him. Instead, she began her own investigation with the methodical approach that made her an exceptional physician. Using her phone to secretly record subsequent conversations, photographing documents while he showered, copying files to hidden cloud storage. Her research revealed a devastating pattern: 12 doctors across 6 countries, all African women, all exploited for their medical expertise and then abandoned to face criminal charges. The Japanese pediatrician who'd committed suicide after being convicted of baby formula equipment fraud. The South African surgeon currently serving 20 years for cardiovascular device failures. "If I'm going down, I'm taking him with me," she whispered, contacting international medical ethics boards through encrypted channels. An international lawyer's response chilled her. "Dr. Akwu, what you're describing sounds like systematic human trafficking of medical professionals." "It's worse," she replied. "He's using our oath to save lives as a weapon to kill people." But Adana wasn't just a victim, she was a strategic thinker. Every medical degree requires training in research methodology, and she was about to conduct the most important study of her life. 3 weeks later, her world exploded. The coordinated raid involved FBI, Interpol, and Korean authorities hitting MedGlobal's headquarters simultaneously with her Lagos arrest. As handcuffs bit into her wrists during a pediatric resuscitation, she watched Min Jun's Oscar-worthy performance on the emergency room television. "I trusted my wife completely," he told Korean media with wounded dignity. "She exploited my love and cultural differences to access our medical certification systems." The Korean prosecutor's statement was surgical in its precision. The defendant used her medical expertise to systematically defraud healthcare systems across 4 continents. But the most devastating blow came during her arraignment. The divorce papers contained a clause that made Adana's blood run cold. Min Jun wasn't just abandoning her, he was claiming she owed him $2 million for fraudulent marriage damages. He was making her pay for her own destruction. The trial was a masterpiece of legal manipulation. Korean prosecutors presented evidence showing Adana as the criminal mastermind behind an international fraud ring. Her signatures on every crucial document. Her medical expertise used to structure shell companies. Her Nigerian background exploited to paint her as a foreign infiltrator destroying respectable Korean business. Min Jun's testimony was worthy of acting awards. Speaking broken English and claiming confusion about technical medical specifications, he painted himself as the naive businessman seduced by a calculating foreign wife. "I loved her," he testified with practiced emotion. "She convinced me these devices met international standards. I don't have medical training, I relied on her professional judgment." Watching her husband, who'd spoken perfect English in Seoul boardrooms, destroy her with calculated lies felt like dying slowly. The Korean judge's sentence echoed through the courtroom like a death knell: 15 years, Seoul Women's Correctional Facility. But as the gavel fell, Adana wasn't thinking about despair, she was thinking about the evidence hidden in her mother's Lagos home and the recording device she'd swallowed before arrest. But prison wasn't going to break her, it was going to be her war room. Seoul Women's Correctional Facility became Adana's graduate school in international law and systematic revenge. Instead of breaking her, confinement crystallized her purpose with emergency room clarity. For 18 months, she studied Korean legal precedents with obsessive focus, building relationships with inmates who'd been destroyed by powerful men, and quietly coordinating with the evidence she'd hidden before arrest. The breakthrough came when her hidden recordings surfaced through international human rights lawyers. Conversations proving Min Jun had targeted her specifically for her medical background. Financial records showing the Kim family had paid private investigators to research her Lagos life before their chance meeting. "Dr. Akwu, you're not just a victim, you're our key witness," the international prosecutor explained during a clandestine prison video call. But Adana's case had sparked something unprecedented, a global coalition of exploited medical professionals demanding justice. Video calls connected her with victims worldwide, the Japanese pediatrician's sister seeking posthumous justice, the Ethiopian surgeon who'd barely survived her conviction, the South African doctor still fighting appeals from maximum security. He used my pediatric license to certify baby formula equipment that poisoned children, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's sister wept during their connection. My cardiovascular certifications were used for devices that killed heart patients during surgery, Dr. Amara Tades added from her Ethiopian prison cell. Each testimony revealed the systematic nature of Min Jun's family operation, a multi-generational criminal enterprise that had destroyed dozens of medical careers while profiting from preventable deaths. International media coverage exploded as the scope became clear, Korean medical fraud network exposed. Foreign doctors as criminal cover. The medical equipment deaths that shook international healthcare. The evidence was overwhelming. Email chains discussing strategies to manipulate foreign medical professionals. Financial documents proving systematic bribery of regulatory officials in 12 countries. Patient death records directly linked to MedGlobal equipment that the company knew would fail. Korean prosecutors, embarrassed by international attention and pressure from global medical organizations, reopened Adana's case with urgent thoroughness. Her conviction was overturned within 6 months, with formal governmental apologies for the miscarriage of justice. But Adana's real victory came with the systematic destruction of everything Min Jun had built. While he'd been confident in Singapore, thinking himself safe from Korean law, Interpol had been building comprehensive cases using his own evidence against him. The man who'd thought himself untouchable found himself arrested at Changi Airport, facing extradition for charges carrying minimum 25 years. The raids on MedGlobal's Seoul headquarters revealed the full scope. Min Jun received 25 years in maximum security. His mother got life imprisonment as the criminal mastermind. But Adana's real victory was the global medical protection protocols that now bear her name, ensuring no doctor would ever again be exploited like this. International medical investigators presented evidence of systematic fraud spanning 8 years. 47 patients confirmed dead from equipment failures. Hundreds of medical professionals manipulated across 6 continents. Nearly $2 billion in fraudulent medical equipment sales disguised as humanitarian healthcare initiatives. This represents the systematic exploitation of medical professionals' dedication to saving lives, declared the lead prosecutor. The Kim family used the international medical community's trust as a weapon against the patients they'd sworn to protect. On the day of Adana's release from Korean prison, she walked out into Seoul's sunshine feeling reborn. Her medical license was fully restored by an international medical board that recognized her as a victim, not perpetrator. The United Nations offered her a position as Special Advisor on International Medical Equipment Fraud Prevention. Dr. Akwu, your courage has changed international law, the UN official explained. No medical professional should ever be weaponized against the patients they swore to protect, Adana replied with quiet determination. 6 months later, she was training medical investigators in Geneva, teaching healthcare professionals worldwide to recognize equipment fraud warning signs. Her testimony had led to new international protocols saving thousands of lives annually by ensuring medical equipment met genuine safety standards. The Adana Akwu International Medical Ethics Foundation now trains thousands of healthcare professionals annually, preventing the exploitation that nearly destroyed her. Every patient who lives because of these protocols, she told graduating medical students in Lagos, represents justice for those we lost to equipment designed to fail. Min Jun sent exactly 1 letter from Korean maximum security prison, a handwritten note claiming his family had forced him into the scheme, begging forgiveness, declaring his love had always been real. Adana used that letter as a training example for medical fraud investigators worldwide, showing how manipulators maintain their deception even after conviction. Some betrayals destroy you. Others transform you into exactly what the world needs most. Adana had learned the difference between love and manipulation, between healing and exploitation, between trust and verification. Her medical calling had nearly been perverted into an instrument of death. But justice had transformed her into a guardian, ensuring no doctor would ever again be exploited against the patients they'd sworn to protect. If this story of medical betrayal turned into global justice moved you, subscribe to Mystic Tale by Luna and hit that notification bell. Dr. Adana's courage changed international law and saved countless lives. What would you have done in her situation? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to hear that no betrayal, no matter how devastating, has the power to destroy your true strength. Your engagement helps us bring you more incredible stories of resilience and justice.